One of the reasons that I love speaking for Shay and Eamon is you just get great introductions like that. I'm just sitting there going, oh, take it in, take it in. So hopefully I'll get the applause at the end as well. It's always nice to have it at the start because it encourages, but it's nice to get it at the end as well. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about how to get rich. And this isn't about coming up and just mobbing me. And it's not my 7 key step formula to wealth and I'm going to send you to the back of the room and you're going to be financially free for the rest of your life. Although you may want that, and we can probably create something if that comes about. It's about what is wealth, what is richness. Funnily enough, my mum and all my family call me Richard. But in this environment, I call myself rich. And there's a reason why I call myself rich, because I want to feel wealthy and abundant. And I know that money does not equal richness. Because at 31 years old, I was a multi-millionaire and I got divorced. And my money didn't mean shit. And I also had I've had about half as much as I had before as well. And at that time, that's probably the most unhappy that I've ever been in my life. And it makes me a bit sad. I speak at internet marketing events, I speak at wealth creation events, and I see people chasing money. And I know that money does not equal happiness. But it's pretty useful sometimes as well, isn't it? And actually the reverse isn't true either, because after I went through that divorce, and I was an investment banker at the time, I thought money equals unhappiness. So I went the other way. I promised to myself, I thought I'm going to spend more time with my children, which was a wealthy thing to do for sure. But I also promised myself I am not going to earn more. I'm going to earn enough money to pay for my bills, and that's it. And I remember 6 years later, a Tony Robbins event in Fiji, which I have to say is very, very nice. I stood up at an event and I said, I promised myself that I would not have to earn any more money than I had to, just to pay the bills, and I'd be happy. And I said to everyone at that event in Fiji, and I have achieved that goal. And everyone applauded like you're doing. Thank you. And you know, that was a great goal to achieve. I was fucking miserable. I was earning the money that I needed in a day and a half. And I was 5.5 days, I quite honestly was dicking around. In other words, you're rich, right? Dick. I was dicking around. Right? So then there's a problem so money equals unhappiness. 2001, money equals unhappiness. And I thought, well, what I'm doing is I'm creating time. So time must equal happiness and wealth and richness. And in 2007, I realized that wasn't true either. There must be something else around wealth. And at that time, I was getting more and more into the Tony Robbins environment. Who has heard of Tony Robbins, has been to a Tony Robbins event, knows about him? Who has absolutely no frigging clue who Tony Robbins is? No one's going to admit it. So I'm a Tony Robbins trainer, and I started to think about some of the things that Tony spoke about, and really what this speech is about. It's about what's beyond Robbins. What's beyond Tony Robbins? Probably a very big shadow. The big guy, 6'7". What's beyond Tony Robbins? And I started to think about what he talks about. So Tony talks about 6 human needs. And there's some clues there. We look at certainty first. I was definitely a certainty addict in my younger years, and actually sometimes I still am. I'm an addict to certainty, about doing the same things over and over again. And I kicked back against that. I'd be the worst employee ever. I'm a self-employed coach, mentor and speaker, and I don't really like rules very much. And I kicked right against that to the point where I created chaos. And do you know what? You need a certain amount of certainty in your life. Wealth is having a certain amount of structure in your life. Enough so that you can function, but not so much that it stifles you. That's certainty. Variety is the spice of life. The quality of your life is the amount of variety you can comfortably tolerate. Tony Robbins. And yet, if there's too much variety too quickly, we freak out, don't we? So for me, variety, I reframe variety as fun. I, Rich Waterman, see, hear, feel and know. The purpose of my life is to have fun, to step up and do whatever it takes to serve myself and others. That's my mission statement for my Date with Destiny event with Tony Robbins. So variety is very, very important. And then we move to another one, which is very, very interesting, one that we're often addicted to, which is significance. I want to feel important. I'm going to post the very best of me on Facebook, the tip of the iceberg. Isn't it true? And you're comparing the whole of your frigging iceberg to someone else's tip, and you're going, I feel shit. So just remember, people are posting the tips of their iceberg. My tip on significance, to feel significant, is to earn that significance through service, through helping others, through being a difference. Earn that significance. That is going to make you feel wealthy, going to make you feel rich. And then my final three are, for me, my favourite three. Love and connection. We could have created this online, couldn't we? You could have had like a webinar or something like that, or listen to some sort of web feed or something like that. But look around the room, look at all these amazing souls. The quality of your life is the connections you make. When you just slow down, just notice the presence of each and every single person in this room, and the amazing souls that they are, and the gift that we have as human beings to be able to connect with another soul and have an impact on that soul, and for that soul to have an impact on you. It's amazing when I speak slower how everything slows down, isn't it? Love and connection. I'm a massive addict. My peer group back in 2006, when I first started in Tony Robbins, absolutely sucked. Completely sucked. I was the smartest kid in the room. I was the richest kid in the room. I was this, that and the other, and I frigging loved it because it fed my significance. And if I ever catch myself doing that, I always find people smarter than me, richer than me, more spiritual than me, have better relationships than me. There's always something to learn from the next person. The person sitting next to you right now, there's something to learn from them. And then my final two human needs are really, really, really interesting. The first one is contribution. When you contribute outside yourself, nothing will light up your life more than that. Nothing will make you feel more rich than contribution. The last time I spoke about Inspired, I spoke about an event that happened to me in 2014. My best friend contacted me, and his daughter was dying from terminal cancer. And the only way to save her was to get her to Germany yesterday. And we raised 30,000 euros to get her there in 5 days. Now that'll have a difference on your life. And she passed away. And it still had a difference on my life and everyone else's life, because now we create this thing called the Pink Princess, the Pink Association, where we go around and we tell people about the importance of contribution. If you want your life to matter, if you want that significance, contribute your arse off. Make sure you look after yourself first. I've seen people do that as well. I've seen people sabotage their life, create a distraction through contribution, over contribution. Look after yourself first, contribute to others. It'll have a massive impact on your life. And the final one is growth. Now, isn't growth an interesting one? We all love to learn new things. We all love to experience new things, to grow and learn. And yet we say we want to do new things, and somehow we just stay put. I was talking to Abigail later on. She's a time management expert, about procrastination. We procrastinate, we stay put. And I started to think, why are so many people talking about, I want to grow? Because growing makes you feel wealthy and rich as well. Wealthy and rich. Growth makes you feel that, but and yet we so often stay put. Why is that? And I started to think back. So sometimes degrees are useful. I actually did a biology degree at Oxford University. And apart from killing loads of fruit flies, I actually learned something useful. And that was this. If you go right back to the times in prehistoric days when we were cavemen and cave women, we needed to stay alive. If we stayed alive, we could reproduce and pass our genes on to the next generation. We needed to stay safe. We needed to obtain resources as easily as possible. So we evolved all these things in our limbic brain to keep us safe. If this works, if it's okay, if it's good enough, carry on doing it. And you're still carrying a limbic brain around today. So everything in your life that's good enough, that's just okay, that's persisting because your brain's saying, this is great because they're safe. And your higher consciousness is going, screw this, I want something better than this, I want to grow. And the limbic brain's going, you don't want to really because that might be unsafe, you need to stay safe. And so then people invented this concept called comfort zones. You got to step outside your comfort zone. You got to smash through that comfort zone, break through the barriers. Tony talks a lot about smashing through barriers, breaking through, go, go, go. And for some of you that are in your 20s and 30s, go for it, because that's how I was at that age. But I'm 46 now. I was 46 yesterday. I love getting my birthday applauded. That's so cool. Thank you very much. I don't want to do that shit anymore. I don't want to break through barriers. I want to be in flow like Waterman. Rich Waterman. I want to be in flow. But I noticed something very, very interesting with comfort zones. I started coaching, when I was in the Tony Robbins environment, I learned NLP, became an NLP trainer, and I learned how to cure phobias. And phobias are definitely way, way outside your comfort zone. And what I learned was when I cured phobias, something very interesting happened. People started coming back to me months and years later saying, Rich, my phobia's gone, and also like I've been doing parachute jumping, I've climbed this, I've changed my job, I've got a new relationship, I've got all this stuff going on, and this happened again and again and again. And I noticed that things were changing for them because that phobia cure had removed that limit, removed that barrier. There were no barriers. What if you didn't have to smash through barriers? What if your life was limitless? What if you had absolutely no limits in your life? That all those things you've been thinking about doing and promising yourself that you would do, all those stories you're telling yourself, all those limits you're imposing on yourself, what if none of those were true? What if every single time you thought about that thing that was holding you back, and rather than doing an NLP technique or smashing through or breaking through, you just say, that is not true. I am limitless. What will be possible for you then? Enjoy limitless life. Be rich, be wealthy, be happy. Thank you very much.